Hi everyone, today I want to talk about how to deal with the words you don't know in language learning. So I'm sure that you face a lot of new words when you're learning a new language, but do we have to look up the word in the dictionary every time we face a new word, or do we have to guess what the word means when we face a new word? What do you guys think? So what is important when you have this kind of question when learning a language is to ask yourself this question, which is, what did you do when you were a child, when you were a kid, when you were little? Ask yourself this question. What did you do when you were acquiring your native language? So please ask yourself this question. Did you use a dictionary every time you face a new word? Maybe no, right? Especially when you are very little, like before entering an elementary school. So basically we acquire new words by hearing those words, seeing those words again and again in everyday life. So for example, if you hear your mother say good morning in the morning every time, first time she sees you in a day, you will acquire the phrase good morning. Oh, this is the phrase that we use when you first meet a person in the morning, or something like this. We acquire new words by doing this again and again and again. But in Japan, what students do first is to use a vocabulary book, which is written in Japanese. I mean, you see a list of English words and Japanese translations next to them. So I originally created a Japanese version of this vid to say, don't do it. Of course, it's okay to use a vocabulary book which is written in your target language to supplement your vocabulary. That is of course okay. Native speakers use dictionaries, of course monolingual dictionaries. Yeah, students sometimes do use vocabulary books to prep for like SAT or something like that. Please let me know if you use vocabulary books in your country, especially if you're a native speaker of English. But so to explain how to deal with new words, I watched Pokemon in Japanese, which I did when I was little, and actually, interestingly, I heard a lot of words that I didn't know. I'm sure I didn't know at that time. So for example, yeah, I watched in Japanese, but words like armed car, this is the word that Team Go Rocket used, but yeah, actually the word armed car doesn't sound so difficult, but it's so hard, it's so difficult in Japanese. It's called 装甲車. Yeah, I don't use this word in everyday life. Actually, I wasn't sure how to read it when I saw the subtitle. I don't use it. Right, I don't use this word in everyday life. Of course I'm sure I didn't know this word when I was a kid. But the point is, I could understand the sentences in which these words were used, right? So based on the way Japanese students study new words, it seems like that the understanding of language is accomplished by understanding each word, right? I went to the museum yesterday. You need to understand I went to the museum yesterday. So based on the way Japanese people study, it seems like you need to understand I like 100%, probably went, maybe 100%. So it's like it seems like you need to know every word. But once again, ask yourself, this is what you did when you were a kid? No, the answer is no. So we can understand sentences without understanding every word, all the words in a sentence, right? So what you need to do is not to understand every word 100%, but to understand each phrase, each sentence 100%. So understanding is accomplished not by understanding 100%, understanding every word 100%, but by understanding each phrase, each sentence 100%, by knowing some of the words. So let's say you don't know the word. Imagine you didn't know the word went, right? But you can understand. I think you could understand the sentence, I went to blah blah yesterday, when you first heard that in your life. So what you use is right, your vocabulary. So let's say you already knew the word the museum yesterday, right? But even if you don't know the word went, you can understand this sentence. So you use your vocabulary, context, and you guess what this word means. But you don't have to do this consciously. I think he says a museum, so I think this word means blah blah. You don't have to do this. Your brain does this kind of automatically, which is super good. Thanks brain. And now you understand this sentence 100%. You know what I meant, right? So do this when you're learning a new language again. Yeah. So the first things you need to do to learn a new language is not to use a vocabulary book or a grammar book. Grammar book is kind of bad as well, especially the ones written in your native language. By using this, actually Japanese students use grammar books a lot. What they have to do is to think about each grammatical pattern every time they speak English. So like I is the subject and I went is the verb, and it's the past tense. So after that I need to say to or something like that. They do this kind of things in class, but if you do this, it prevents you from understanding the language by using these three, which are your vocabulary, context, and guessing. So don't do this. Make sure that studying new vocabulary and grammatical patterns. Of course, please do this in the target language, not your native language. If you ever do this in language learning, but please make sure that you do these to supplement your language learning, not to begin it. So if you're a language learner, which I think you are, because you're visiting this channel, but you need to make sure that you first need to train yourself to be able to understand what the entire sentence means, what the entire phrase means. You don't need to look up all the words you face. You don't need to use the grammar books. And so if you're a Japanese learner, just watch Japanese TV shows, movies. Maybe it's too hard to understand them for beginners, but just enjoy them, right? Maybe you feel that, oh, I don't understand anything, I need dictionaries or something like that, but don't do it first. You feel so by comparing how much you understand the language compared to your native language, but this is what you did when you were little. So you'll be able to understand at least the entire sentence, phrase, or the story and at the same time you will naturally acquire new words, of course, new grammatical patterns, of course. So just believe in yourself, and your language will be very natural as well. If you try to understand every word in your head, this would not happen to you. Oh, this word means this in English, this Japanese word means this in English. Oh, this grammatical pattern is this, so this means this. You like try to interpret everything, which prevents your brain from guessing based on the context, right? Alright, to sum up, language learners, especially beginners, don't have to use vocab books or grammar books as well. It's also very important to get used to how fast native speakers speak the language. For example, if you're a Japanese learner, maybe you feel, especially if you're a beginner, I think you feel Japanese people speak Japanese very fast. But as long as you feel it's fast, it also prevents you from guessing words, understanding the entire sentence, entire phrase, entire story. So of course, to follow the speed, you don't want to translate every word. You don't want to use your knowledge about Japanese grammar because it takes a long time. So this is absolutely not the first thing you do in language learning. Well, so the point is not to understand every word 100%, but to understand each sentence, each phrase, maybe each story, the entire story 100%. Maybe not 100%. Maybe no one understands language 100%, but I mean, what is important is to understand what the entire thing means. Understanding of the language is not accomplished by understanding every word, but by using the words you already know, the context, and your ability to guess what words mean. Alright, so I think that's all for today. But you don't need to try to guess or anything, right? Your brain does this automatically, right? So be a kid. Just enjoy TV shows, movies, books, or something like that. Alright, that's all for today. Enjoy your learning. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And see you guys next time.